Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're back now from our half-time term little holiday trip away, where I did that little tiny bit of review on the Roman battery, or sort of review use of the Roman battery, showing you how well the lithium works. We didn't need electric hookup, as you've seen from that vlog. We could probably go quite easily a week even without the solar. But I did say that I was going to be fitting this when I get home, which is the Blue Smart charger by Victron, the 12/10 to 10 amp charger. Still going to go ahead with fitting this, although we don't need the electric hookup. I do want to have the ability to be able to charge my starter battery on the van, which we haven't got now that we've disconnected the EBL charging system. And that's purely because if we left the van for a few months, if we didn't go away in it or didn't move it, and the starter battery drops its voltage too much, according to the dealers, and this is only from what we've been told by them, so I don't know for sure, it can actually do some damage to the ECU and bring up a fault on the ECU that you need to then go to the dealers to get cleared. Not sure how true that is. That's just going by the dealer we bought the van from. So it's nice then to have this connected up, so when we're not using the van, we can put it on electric hookup on our front drive and keep that starter topped up. And we can also have the ability to charge lithium if we are ever up north or up Scotland or somewhere that far up like we was last week, and we're getting very little solar, and we didn't move for ages, and we started using the lithium up because the fridge on this van and the heating system running on 12 volts does really knock the power out of the batteries. So that's what I'm going to be doing today anyway. And I'll show you how I fit this, which should be quite simple hopefully. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is take the driver's seat out, which is where this is going to go, so I get access to that area. So I'll show you how I did that. I think I showed you in the last vlog, but I'll just quickly go over how to take the seats out for anyone that's fitting any lithium or a new AGM or anything like that. You do need to take these seats out to be able to get access to the electrical system. Right, to get the seat out, we need to take out these. Star Torque Allen bolts, and there's another bolt underneath that I'll show you in a minute. So to get these out, you either have to have a set of these, which is quite handy to get to them, or in most socket sets you'll have the star tool in the socket set. It's part of most, I would say, all socket sets nowadays. So there's a total of 3 down each side, one in the front that you just seen. You probably can't see it, but there's a hole in the seat here where one of the bolts, which is the locking bolt when the chair's in position when you're driving, will have to be undone and comes through this hole. And then the other one is here, which is quite an awkward one to get to, which I have to use these Allen tools to get to this one because the socket set won't get in there. And then when all them are out, there's this panel that I'll take off in a minute, and there's a nut underneath there as well. Right, so once you've got all them torque bolts out, you will have to take this side panel off, because there is one nut each side of the seat, both sides, under here, which is easy accessible using just a normal socket ratchet to go underneath there and undo, and then the seat is ready to almost come out. Once all the bolts are out, you'd also need to find this plug, which is under the seat. It might be attached under the seat somewhere, but this is the plug for, I believe this is for the seat belt sensor. I don't know what the other cables are for, but this needs to be disconnected because these two cables actually go up to the seat, and so if you pull the seat out without disconnecting this, you'll end up ripping this out. Right, all the bolts and everything's out now, so the seat's ready to be picked up and taken out. Now this time I'm not going to take the seat out of the van completely. Previously I put them in my garage. I'm going to be putting my seat over here where I've got these bits of wood on the floor. Now the seat's got studs underneath it where we took them nuts off. So if you do put your seat over here, you need to protect your floor, because then the seat is really heavy and it'd be resting on them nuts, them studs to me, which will damage your lino. So put some wood down here if you're going to do this, just to protect this lino in this area. Right, so that's the seat out now, ready to install the Blue Smart charger. As you can see, I've just placed it in there, and I'm going to be connecting the mains up for this into this, which is the mains that we originally had for the EBL. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that and how to connect it up both to the lithium and the starter battery. Just to say something else, I'm not going to be fitting this in permanently here. I'm going to be making this so it's removable, because this is an excellent charger for doing my car or my daughter's car, anything like that. Any other batteries around your vehicles that you might want to charge. So I want to make this removable bit of kit, so I can take this out and just crocodile click it onto any battery to charge up as well. So this won't be a permanent fixture in here, this will be stored underneath one of my seats. Right, for the 240 volt side, you'll have a box underneath the van which has a plug like this, where you have a kettle sort of plug, which is normally plugged into the back of your EBL, which is the one I took out, and this is what I'm going to be plugging into. So you can either replace this and put a 3-pin socket in, normal household socket, and then plug your charger straight into that if you replace that, or like what I've done is I've took the plug off the Blue Smart charger and I've fitted a female kettle sort of plug socket, so then I can plug these two in and unplug them if I want to remove this device. So that's easy enough then to plug and unplug without doing any adaptation to your van. So now that's plugged in, I'll get the app up and running, and we see this device on the Victron apps. Right, so there it is there now on my Victron app, so I can click on that to connect to it. And then if I click on the little cog in the corner, I can then select whether it's going to be charging my lithium or my lead acid or AGM batteries, wherever I decide to charge. So if I just click on the normal there and then leave it on 10 amps and then go to advanced settings, just to show you the voltages, and then advanced part, you can see the absorption voltage is 14.4, which is ideal for the AGM and for lead acid, and float voltage 13.8, again ideal for charging the battery, starter battery or the AGM. You can change it to user defined if you want to, but I don't see a need to, because then voltages are okay. And even if I then click onto lithium and then again go down to advanced, you can see I've got absorption voltage of 14.2, which is okay, and storage voltage 13.5, which is probably the voltage that's going to keep charging up after 2 hour absorption to get it up to full capacity. And this float voltage disabled, which you need on a lithium. If I click on the expert mode, just to show you that, then I'm not going to change these, but it then tells me the bulk time limit is 1 day and the absorption time is 2 hours, which is what you need. And this is something with the EBL, it has a 6 hour absorption time, which is one of the reasons why you can't use the EBL for charging your lithium, because they only need 2 hours. Anyway, I don't need to change any of them. I'll go back here. And to show you that on the charger, you can see I've got a blue little dot light on, LED light on for the lithium. And if I change this to normal, you can see now it's gone to normal on there. And this would also do reconditioning as well, but I hopefully never have to do all that sort of stuff. So for now I need to connect up the connections to the 2 batteries in the van. Right, so for the starter battery power connection, down here underneath this cover, which is the cover that has the step light on the side, you'd have a little fuse holder which I've just disconnected. It's just screwed into the back down there somewhere. I've had this fuse out and taken this cable out because this stops the charging of the van when your engine's running into your lithium or EBL. But this is also the supply that goes to your starter battery, sorry. So I'm going to re-put this fuse back in and cable to run through, so that's going to be my positive. And the negative, I'm just going to connect it into this negative here for both lithium and starter, because the system on this van has a common earth to both batteries. They're both connected together, probably for the chassis as well. So just to show you, it's sitting there with the flute meter on it at 12.4 volts. And if I start the engine up now, you can see it's gone up to 14.3 volts. So you can see that that is the starter battery that I'm positive connected to. So that'd be fine for my 240 volt charger system that I'm going to be putting in. Alright, so most of the wiring's done, so I'll quickly go over what I've done. It's quite an easy setup, so in case anyone wants to follow and do the same, fitting this. So down here, like I said, there's a fuse which I put back now, and I've put a 20 amp fuse in there, which is the fuse that comes from the starter battery. So I've taken the cable from there, which yours would already have, up to here, and it's now spliced in to one of the Victron plugs ready for charging up the starter battery. The negative is going into my negative block, which most vans, Adria vans previously had a little tiny white connection block here. That's your negatives because it's all common negatives. And the other negatives to the Victron plugs, I've got two plugs, one for starter, one for lithium, is also connected into here. So the positive for the lithium battery, I've made another junction box up, which I've just tapped into the cable that comes out of here. There's two cables coming out of here. I've only tapped into one, so I'm only running a 10 amp fuse power supply. So that's just tapping into there, splicing in and connecting in. I did it like this because it's tight and secure. I haven't got any sort of inline crimps that would make this a bit neater, because it's quite a big box, but it still works for now. And it's enough space under here to put this. So that's most of the wiring done. So I end up with two plugs which I'll have to label up. One will be for lithium and one will be for starter battery. And then on my Victron Smart charger, I am going to put in an inline fuse on here because it doesn't seem to be any fuses, which is I thought it would have. And there's this one in here or something. No. So I'll probably splice in a fuse on here just for safety, and then I'm just going to have to connect all this up and give it a test. First thing to do is tidy up the cable mess. Right, so that's it, the chair's all back in position now, and down here I have my mains connection for plugging in the Victron charger, and I have the two 12-volt connections down here. One of them has got a bit of yellow tape around it and an L on it for the lithium, and then the other one will be for the starter motor. And both of these have protective covers on them, so that you're unlikely to short anything out by accident. On the actual charger, I have fitted an inline fuse with a 15 amp fuse. It's a 10 amp charger, so that should never go unless this develops a dead short. I think it's always handy to have something like that to blow the fuse rather than blowing other fuses or cables around the van. And then it's just a matter of plugging it in. So I'll give that a go now. Right, so the first thing I'll do before I plug the device into the van is connect the mains up, make sure that I'm on the right setting. So this is showing lithium. On the cog here, it's also showing lithium. So this is now ready to plug in to the lithium battery to charge up the leisure battery on the van. And with that now plugged in, I'm getting 13.88 volts out of the charger, and 10 amps should be going into my lithium battery on a bulk charge. Up here on my gauge, I can see that I'm charging, and I'm getting 9.8 volt amps going into the battery. The battery is on 86%, 172 amp hours, so it does need a charge if I wanted to bring this up to 100%. So far that is working perfectly fine. I will turn this off because I want to keep my battery low because we're in storage mode at the moment. Right, so now I've disconnected that lithium plug, and I'll put that protection cover back on. I can now go into the Victron app and change this to normal to do my starter motor, and you can see now on the Victron controller it's got the LED for normal. So I'll plug this now in to charge the starter motor and see the voltage on that. Right, so now that's plugged into the starter battery, and I'm getting 13.9 volts on the gauge on the app at 10 amps. So we'll get the flute meter and see what we've actually got on the starter battery. And so here on the starter battery, you can see my flute meter is showing 14.04 volts. So we are actually in bulk charge mode on the starter battery now. So that is working exactly how I wanted it as well. And so when it's all connected up like it is now, I can actually put it all in this space and close this compartment. I wouldn't leave it in there when driving because I'm having this as a device that I will remove when not needed, because like I said, I might use this on my cars and stuff, but it is nice that it all fits in there quite snugly. So that is a good space for this charger. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this setup. So that just shows you the final bit that I'm going to be doing on the electrics on the van. So it gives me now a starter battery charging if I need it, if the van's been in storage for a month and we're going away, I'm not using it. And it also gives me the ability to charge up the lithium if I'm on sites where the solar's pretty bad and we're away for a week and the lithium's dropping too low. I can easily plug that in and give it a little top up, and we'll keep that in the van under the little seat cupboard in the passenger area. It also allows me to disconnect it like I showed you, so that I can use that to charge my little car up when it come away. We have been away for 4 weeks and the car battery's died because it's an old car, or my daughter's car battery as well, and anything else really. It's quite a nice little charger to have as a mobile rather than having it permanently fitted to the van, which is a bit of a waste, I thought. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be it. Say for the setup, we're not going to be putting in an inverter at all. We don't see the need for 240 at the moment. If we go microwave route, then maybe, but at the moment we don't see a need for it.